In 2019, something happened in college football that felt almost unreal. Every weekend, the same story played out. A quarterback stepped onto the field and made it look easy. Defenses tried everything, blitzes double, coverage, exotic schemes designed to confuse him. It didn't matter. He kept finding the open receiver. He kept throwing touchdowns. He kept winning by the end of the season. People weren't just asking if he was the best player that year. They were asking something much bigger. Was this the greatest college football season ever? This is the story of how Joe Burrow went from overlooked transfer to Heisman Trophy winner, national champion, and the leader of one of the most dominant teams in college football history, because just 1 year earlier, almost no one saw this coming in 2018. Burrow was not considered a superstar. He had transferred from Ohio State Buckeyes football after struggling to secure the starting job. At the time, it felt like a second chance more than a guaranteed path to greatness. He arrived at LSU Tigers football with something to prove. The program itself was respected, but expectations weren't sky high. LSU had talent, as they always did, but few believed they were about to become the most dominant team in the country. And Burrow? He was seen as solid, reliable, but not spectacular, not yet. That's what made everything that followed so incredible. Instead of accepting that label, Burrow went to work. He studied film obsessively. He worked on his mechanics. He focused on decision-making, learning how to read defenses faster and more accurately. Every detail mattered: footwork, timing, accuracy, leadership. By the time the 2019 season approached, something had changed. This wasn't the same quarterback. He wasn't just trying to fit into the system anymore. He was ready to control it. From the very first game of the 2019 season, it became clear that something special was happening. Burrow didn't just play well. He dominated. He commanded the offense with confidence and precision. Every pass looked intentional. Every read looked calculated. It was as if the game had slowed down for him while everyone else was still trying to keep up. Defenses struggled immediately. They couldn't pressure him consistently. They couldn't confuse him. And most importantly, they couldn't stop him week after week. The numbers kept building: yards, touchdowns, wins. The offense moved like a machine, and Burrow was the one controlling it. Media attention started to grow. At first, it was curiosity. Then it turned into excitement. Analysts began calling him the most efficient quarterback in the country. Fans started to realize they were watching something rare, something historic. By the middle of the season, the statistics were almost unbelievable. Burrow had already thrown for thousands of yards. His touchdown count kept climbing higher and higher, and perhaps most impressively, he rarely made mistakes. Interceptions were almost non-existent. Every game seemed to add another highlight, another performance that made people stop and pay attention. At that point, the conversation changed. It wasn't just about how good, it was about how great this season could become. Could this be the greatest season ever by a college quarterback? That question started to follow him everywhere. But greatness in college football isn't just about numbers, it's about moments. And Burrow delivered those too. As the season progressed, LSU faced tougher competition, top-ranked teams, elite defenses, high-pressure situations, and each time, Burrow rose to the moment. He didn't shrink under pressure. He became even better. Fourth-quarter drives, perfect. Throws in tight coverage, it plays when the game was on the line. Made it look routine. That's what made the season feel different. It wasn't just dominant, it was consistency. No matter the opponent, no matter the situation, the result was the same. Burrow delivered as LSU kept winning. The idea of a perfect season became real. The Tigers weren't just good, they were unstoppable. And when the season reached its most important stage, the college football playoff, the stakes became even higher. This was where great teams are tested, where legends are made, and Burrow didn't just pass the test. He dominated it. In the semifinal, LSU faced one of the top teams in the country. The expectation was a close, competitive game. Instead, LSU overwhelmed them. Burrow picked apart the defense with precision, touchdown after touchdown. After drive, it became clear that this wasn't luck. This wasn't a hot streak. This was one of the greatest offensive performances college football had ever seen. Then came the final challenge, the national championship game, LSU versus Clemson Tigers. Football. The stadium was electric. Fans knew they were watching something historic, undefeated. Season on the line, a chance to cement greatness, a potent chance to finish what had been building all year. And once again, Joe Burrow delivered. He played with complete control, confidence, precision, moved the offense effortlessly, finding receivers, extending plays, and making decisions that looked almost perfect at the end of the game. Burrow had thrown 5 touchdown passes. 5 on the biggest stage in college. LSU won the game. They completed a perfect 15-0 season. And in that moment, everything came together. Joe Burrow wasn't just a great quarterback. He was the best player in college football. He won the Heisman Trophy, won the national championship, and he finished one of the most dominant seasons the sport had ever seen. But what made that season truly special went beyond the trophy was the way he did it. Consistency.
I tried to leave a legacy of hard work and preparation and loyalty and dedication everywhere I go. And I'm surrounded by such great people that make that so easy. Great strength coaches. Coming from Southeast Ohio, it's a very, very impoverished area, and the poverty rate is almost 2 times the national average, and there's so many people there that don't have a lot. And I'm up here for all those kids in Athens and in Athens County that go home to not a lot of food on the table, hungry after school. And you guys can be up here too.
Under pressure week after week, he performed at an elite level, record-breaking production. He finished the season with 60 total touchdowns, setting new standards for offensive performance leadership. He commanded the offense like a veteran professional, earning the trust of teammates and coaches. Inspiration, because his story wasn't about being the most hyped player from the beginning. It was about growth, about hard work, about proving that improvement is always possible. That's what made the season unforgettable. It wasn't just dominance, it was transformation. 1 year earlier, he was an underdog trying to find his place. Now, he was the standard for greatness after that historic season. The next step felt inevitable in the 2020 NFL Draft. Joe Burrow was selected with the first overall pick by the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay, here we go. With the first pick in the 2020 draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Joe Burrow, quarterback, LSU.
And there you see Joe with mom and dad, and you have to wonder what's going through his mind right now. Remember, when he entered the transfer portal, he said one more time he wanted to go to Nebraska, and Scott Frost, the coach, said, "Is he better than what we got?" The answer is yes.
His journey from overlooked transfer to the top pick in professional football was complete, but the legacy of 2019 didn't end there. That season became a benchmark. Players, coaches, and analysts still talk about it. They compare future quarterbacks to it. They measure greatness against it. Because what Burrow accomplished in that single year was something rare. He didn't just lead a great team. He elevated it. He didn't just put up numbers. He redefined expectations. Didn't just win games. He made history. That's why, years later, fans still remember it, still talk about it, still watch the highlights and wonder how it all came together so perfectly. Because seasons like that don't happen often. They require the perfect combination of talent, preparation, confidence, and opportunity. And when all those things come together, you get something special, something unforgettable. Joe Burrow's 2019 season wasn't just great, it was legendary. Story of ambition, a story of preparation, story of rising to the biggest moments and delivering. Every single time, and that's why we'll always be remembered as one of the greatest seasons in college football history. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with another sports fan, because sometimes the greatest stories in sports aren't just about winning. They're about how someone rises, transforms, and leaves a legacy that lasts forever.